Hey, what's up guys? Good to do another cooking video. Occasionally I get a strange viewer who sends me a very weird message about pulling pork and whatnot. I finally caved. I figured I'd do a video on one. So what I have here is a pork shoulder or pork butt. They will all work just fine. This one happens to not have a bone in it. If you do have a bone in yours, it doesn't really make a difference. What I prefer is when I have one with the bone, you get the pork shoulder with the bone in. What I'll do is I will actually cut the heat back half and double the time. This recipe is going to call for a 300-degree oven for 6 hours, whereas if I do pork shoulder, this is pork butt. If I do pork shoulder with the bone in, I'll end up doing like 150 degrees or even 140 degrees, and I'll do it for 12 hours. But I don't have 12 hours right now. This is not tonight's dinner. This will be for tomorrow. Right now it is, let's see, 4 o'clock, a little bit after 4. So around 10 o'clock this will be done. And then I can put it all away and then go to bed and eat it tomorrow for lunch and dinner. And some, because it's a big old hunk of meat. But anyway, all we need is you go to the grocer's, or whatever butcher, if you happen to have one by you, you'd be very lucky. And you get yourself a pork shoulder or pork butt. And all you're basically doing is just seasoning it. Some people do a dry rub. In this case, I'm going to do a little bit of both. I'm going to make some cavities and shove the cavities with goodies. Push all kinds of crap in there. As well as I'm going to braise this with a little bit of water. Now, there's a million different ways you can do pulled pork. Okay, this is kind of new for me. I've never specifically done it this way. I've done it with the dry rubs before. I've done it with just shoving whole cloves of garlic, inside the meat and roasting it. I've also done a braised. This is going to be sort of a braised version, but when I've done it braised, it came out phenomenal. I mean, really, really good. And I used, for my braising liquid, I used 1 bottle of Samuel Adams Winter Lager, and it was amazing. It really instilled this beautiful taste into it. But look, I'm just working with what I got here. I have not gone to the grocery store. I'm kind of running out of food. I have food for dinner for tonight, which I'm going to prepare after this video. But I want to make this for tomorrow. So what I have in the house is I happen to have this, which has been defrosted the last 2 days because I did have it frozen. I get meat when it's on sale, and I just freeze it. I happen to have a little less than half a jar of jalapenos. Oh, my oven's ready, 300 degrees. So I got some jalapenos. I have some minced garlic still. I have a nice dry rub that someone sent me. One of you guys sent me this, and I tried on chicken on the grill, and it was absolutely amazing. Cowbell Hell barbecue rubs and enhancers, and this was really good. Let's see. Whoa, hello. I always do that. Occasionally I'll beat my tripod like it owes me money. Alright, let's see, where are the ingredients on here? Paprika, garlic, sea salt, onion, and spices. So it's pretty straightforward, but it's got a nifty little tin here. And it's good stuff. Like I said, I tried on chicken on the grill, just regular barbecue chicken, and it was really yummy. So I'm going to do that. So this is kind of an experimental pulled pork. So we will see how it comes out, and if it comes out good, I will post this video. If it comes out disgusting, you'll never know about it. So, yes, first thing I want to do is I'm going to cook this with the skin is on the bottom, or not really skin, the fat. And I'm going to season this side, flip it over. I'm going to cook it with the fat on top. This way the fat will kind of melt and drip away down into the meat and everything else and flavor it up. Okay. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to make some cavities on this side. Basically take a knife, any knife. Yes, I know I don't have some crazy knife for this video, just a cold steel steak knife. I know, how disappointing. I'll just poke it a few times. You don't have to go crazy. Alright. So, stick your finger in those cavities. Oh yeah. There we go. It's a little suction. Alright. So just opening them up a little bit. Okay. And by the way, I just have like a high baking dish here, and I put a tin liner in it just to make cleanup easier. Alright, so just basically opening these up a little bit because we're going to be shoving our peppers in there, And whoop, I'm just poking the side. There's no hole there. Let's put a hole there, because now I want one there. So I don't look so stupid. There we go. Alright. So pretty straightforward. We do dump a little bit of garlic on here. A lot of garlic. So I like it. Just kind of smear it around, shove it in all those cavities. And I'm telling you, this is good stuff. It's good eats, as Alton Brown would say. If you happen to know who that is. Yep. So smear it around. Okay. And let's see, I'm going to get out. There we go. Alright, so garlic, I'm going to throw on some jalapenos. Okay, and the juice. Don't be afraid to use the juice because I'm going to be braising this. I'm going to add a little bit of water at the end. Wow, a lot of juice. That's okay, it's part of our braising liquid. Alright, a lot of jalapenos. Yes, just kind of shove a couple of these in these holes. I love the flavor of jalapeno too. It's not just about the heat. They have an excellent flavor, kind of tart. Yeah, so shove them peppers in there. That is good stuff. Alright, just kind of mush those around a little bit. Alright, so we can always salt at the end, so I'm not going to salt, but I will. After I shove more peppers in here, I am going to throw on a little bit of black pepper. Alright, so I freshly ground some black pepper and put it in this other container. Prepared that yesterday. And I'm just going to kind of sprinkle this all around. Alright, so this side is almost done. Put a little bit of that rub on there, just give it a little something something. Now when I'm all done here, I'm not going to use barbecue sauce for this pulled pork, so I'm really trying to flavor it up real nice right out of the gate here. Alright, so pour a little in my hand. You don't want to pour directly over your food because if you make a mistake you can't take it back. So just kind of spread this all over the place. Remember, this is the bottom too, so not be perfect. Alright, so that's pretty much it. I got a whole kind of schmear going on here. Now, flip the whole thing over. And let's do this. There we go. Basically do the same thing on this side. Now what a lot of people do is they will go in and trim all this fat off. I don't. When I'm all done making my pulled pork, I drain the fat because there will be quite a bit of drippings and so much that it might be gross. You want some of that fat flavoring it, but you don't want it like ridiculously fatty, you know, like oily and just like too greasy. So I'll just drain it at the end as opposed to cutting off in the front or, you know, up in the beginning of the preparation here. So anyway, same deal. Create some cavities, especially in the deeper parts, the fatter part of the meat. Alright, we'll use, well, stick your finger in these holes, open them up a little bit. And I didn't mention it, it's hard with the fat here, so that your slices you have to kind of make a little bit, kind of cut into it a little bit more. Because that fat layer will not give. It's selfish. There we go. Much better. I wonder what kind of comments I'll get on this one. Alright. Pain in my you know what. There we go. Okay. Alright, so now, pour on the rest of our garlic. So I want to use this little tub up. Get out of my jar. There we go. Can't have too much garlic. That's my rule. I love it. Alright, so smear that around, shove it in all the little holes, little cavities, make squishy noises. Who says we're not allowed to play with our food, right? Okay. Now, the rest of our jalapenos. Yes, yes, yes. I want lots of flavor because again, when I'm all done with this and I'm gonna make pulled pork sandwiches tomorrow, I'm not gonna use any barbecue sauce. I just want the pork, maybe a little. I'll go to the store and get some cold coleslaw, or maybe I'll make some. Depends. It's usually cheaper just to buy it. Well, it's cheaper to make it, but if you need everything, all the ingredients and stuff, it can be more expensive. Just depends how much you need. But that's pretty much it. Just like that. Just kind of spread these around a little bit. I want to put more dry rub on top of this. So let me get some more of that. Smells good. Yeah, and then when it's all done, tomorrow sometime I will, you know, salt it to taste. More of that dry rub. Remember, we got a lot of meat here, so the outside might look like it's a little much, but believe me, once you start chopping this up and everything, it won't be as much as you think. Alright, so now I'm going to get messy here, and even though I made this like kind of even and everything, I'm going to go back and just kind of mush everything back together. Alright, still push everything into those holes. Because if I just have the dry rub on there without any moisture, it might burn, and I don't want anything burning. So, mush everything back. Inner pan all around. We got extra peppers going on. Man, I can't wait. It's the only problem with pulled pork. It takes forever. But let's see. I'm gonna hit it with more black pepper on this side. And because I'm using those herbs, I'm not. Usually, I would hit it with garlic powder and onion powder as well, but I'm not going to. Just because I use the dry rub. Alright, wash my hands for a second. Whenever I'm with like a stranger or something, and I wash my hands, they always make weird faces because I do that. I go, they're like, what are you doing? I'm just going like this with my hands when I wash it, when they're wet. I don't know why. I've done that my entire life. Okay. So, now our pork is almost ready to go. I want to get a little bit of water. Fill up my jalapeno jar. I'm just kind of filling the bottom here with water. You don't have to go crazy. You just want some liquid in here. Kind of swash that around a little bit. Because I am braising this. I want all this to evaporate and create steam and cook it and make it tender and juicy so it's not dried out and burnt and disgusting. So that is pretty much it. I'm just going to cover this with foil now. And then in the oven it goes. And this is going to go in the oven, like I said, 300 degrees. For 6 hours. And typically, I'm pretty impatient, so in about maybe 3 or 4 hours, I will open the oven up and open this up and take a look at it and see where we're at. So that's pretty much it. I will show you the end result tonight at around 10 o'clock, and then that's pretty much it. And then I'll taste test it probably when it's still hot out of the oven because, again, I'm impatient. And I'm just very much looking forward to trying this. So I will see you in 6 hours. Alright, well, movie magic, huh? It is now 10:32 p.m. and this is out of the oven. And what I did was for the last probably about 7 or 8 minutes before it was done, I took a peek at it and it kind of looked done, and I took the foil off to let some of those juices evaporate and concentrate down a little bit, and to get a little bit more of a crusty type action on the outside. So as we look here, we'll see that we have our jalapenos that were on the meat itself dried up a little bit, which is fine. That really just concentrates all that flavor. Now the layer of fat here, you'll see as I pull back, this is all fat. And you could just remove this, but honestly the meat, there's not that much fat to meat ratio, so I'm actually going to, you know, kind of pull it, I guess you're making pulled pork, I'm going to kind of mix that in with all the meat so that the meat itself isn't so dry. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the little mittens things, and I'm going to drain some of this liquid because I don't want all this, but I do want to mix some of it, its drippings and the water and the juice from the jalapenos and so forth. I want to mix that in with the meat to make sure it stays nice and moist and, you know, it doesn't get all dry on me. So that's what I'm going to do right now real quick. And I don't want to drain all of it, just about half of what's there. That's fine. I'll leave this, because I want nice and juicy meat too. Alright, so I just lost a couple jalapenos. Alright, so let me back this up a little bit because I'm going to need another fork. Oh, that's a spoon. Okay. So again, you can see, if I pull more fat off the side here for a second, if I pull it apart a little bit, you can see the some of the cavities, but basically, when you know it's done is when you take a fork and just use the other one to stabilize it, and as you pull across, it literally will, and you want to go in this direction. You can see how the meat fibers run up and down. You want to go against the fibers as opposed to with it, but you'll see that just, I mean, I'm not putting any pressure on this at all, I'm just kind of dragging it across, and all this meat just pulls right apart like that. Alright, and that's all you want to do is continuously go across. And you see, as I go across these little channels that I made, I'll find those hidden little peppers and the garlic that's in there and stuff, and just very lightly just keep going across and it shreds it up. It's really easy to do. Alright, and of course you can kind of fluff it up when we're all done, and we're going to mix everything in nice and even. We don't want a whole bite of fat. We really want to incorporate all that fat together. Now the corners will be a little bit drier. Again, we're mixing everything together. It's going to make a nice consistency. So just kind of pulling the pork here. You can see if I dig the fork in and just twist like this, you can see how it takes off big chunks. I mean, that's how you know it's really done. If you're having a hard time pulling this apart, it's not done. Put it back in. You know, it could be the temperature's a little bit off or whatever the variable is. It's definitely not done at that point. So I'm going to continue to shred this, and as I'm shredding it, I'm going to mix it in with all these juices down here, have everything nice and consistent. I'll get back with you when I'm all done. Alright, and we're back. So it's pretty easy. Basically, like I said, you just take the big pieces and kind of shred it apart, and when you're all done, you know, you think you're done, just kind of fish through. If you get a big chunk somewhere, or bigger chunk, like, it's not really even that big, but let's suppose this piece was a lot bigger. Just put it on top of your pile, and we're going to just go back and re-separate all the little meat fibers, you know. Now some of the edges, like see this piece is long and stringy, because this is one of the ones that were towards the edge, or the outside, that got a little bit drier. This is where you can go the other direction to actually shred it, because the blade, you know, the fork points will run through it and pull it and shred it out, so it's thinner pieces and you won't have a chunk. But overall, great consistency altogether. Let me give this a little try. Now again, the darker pieces, like where you might have a little bit of fat or something, you don't want a big chunk of fat, so make sure you incorporate that really good with the meat. But looks like we're pretty good here. I spread out. Now all the jalapenos that sat in our braising liquid, they all turn to mush, like really, really mushy. And as I'm pulling the pork, yes, as I'm pulling the pork, it kind of turns into a paste, and it lightly coats everything. So you can see in here just little bits of green here and there. But anyway, let's take a little bite and do a little taste test. Let's get a close up here. You can see a little bits of green jalapeno in there. Ah, on my hand. Don't worry, it's a good thing I washed my hands. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So basically, just pulled pork. Not much to it. I'll give this a little taste test. Now, I never made it specifically like this, but it came out great. There's a little bit of bite from the jalapenos, mostly because of all the juice that went in there. It was the pickling juice, because I did have a jar of pickled jalapenos as opposed to fresh, which I would recommend if you happen to do it for yours. It's got a nice little like lip tingle thing going on. It's not really a burn, just a little bit of heat there. The garlic comes out. The dry rub really comes out in this. If you like that flavor for whatever dry rub you use, when you're all done, you can do a light dusting on here and incorporate it again after the fact. But it's really good. It's really juicy and moist because of that little bit of fat that I still incorporated in, as well as some of the juice that I left, the braising liquid. Awesome recipe. Really simple, straightforward. Basically, you're prepping it up, throw it in the oven, forget about it. Low temperature for a while. Again, bone or no bone, 300 degrees for 6 hours, or the alternative is about 120 to 140 degrees for 12 hours. Okay, of course you want to time this properly so you don't have to wake up at 3 in the morning to check on your dinner or finish it. If you're going for the 6 hour, it's better to start in the afternoon, so obviously you're still wide awake and coherent dealing with your oven, so you don't leave it on or start a fire or something. And same deal with the 12 hour. You don't want to start it at 2 in the afternoon or 3 in the afternoon, because obviously it'll be 2 or 3 in the morning when it's done. So correlate your hours properly for best results. But anyway, yeah, it's really good. And I'm not hungry or anything, but I want another bite because it's tasty. Delicious. A little bit of jalapeno. That garlic is amazing. That is great stuff. So that's it. That's how I pull my pork. For the very few strange people who keep asking me all the time. And they keep wanting me to send pictures, and I don't know. I don't know about you people. But for everyone else, hope you enjoy the recipe. Thanks for watching. If you have your own little twists on this. Oh, sorry, I'm talking my mouth full. Alright. I'm going to be rude and talk my mouth while I'm chewing. Yeah, this came out pretty good, but obviously you want to twist and or adjust for your taste. Okay? That doesn't mean going out and buying the exact spice that I used or using jalapenos if you don't like heat. You're basically you're flavoring it any way you want. You can, if you want to make like a fruity type deal, use orange juice for your braising liquid. If you don't want the heat, don't add the peppers. If you like more heat, add a little hot sauce. You can do whatever you want. You can alter this to flavor it any way you want. Another way I made pulled pork once was kind of like how you glaze a ham, and it came out amazing. What I did was on the outside I put a mixture of brown sugar and spicy brown mustard, like you would glaze a ham, and just completely smeared it around, and I put a can of pineapple chunks in there as well, and it came out really, really good. Like I used the juice and everything. It was kind of like a tropical type, I don't know, it seemed like some kind of meat you'd get down in vacation in Hawaii or something. It was really, really good. So you can do any kind of twist you want on this, but basically it's really simple. The average size pork shoulder, or pork butt you're going to find in your grocery store or your butcher, throw in the oven and doctor up any way you want. When you're all done, shred it up with some forks, and that's it. That's all she wrote. So thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate your time as always, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Take it easy.